Oh, now it's playing the main theme from the title screen that I quite like. All our lives have led to this moment, that we might dispense what justice the gods have afforded us. I clicked off the game, gosh darn it. This is trippy. It hurts my eyes a little bit. Whoa, that voice is way louder than the music. Stand tall, we represent the final chance for this world. Let him test the strength of our bonds.
Chop chop!
Look alive, people. He didn't come all this way just to fail in the final hour. He doesn't stand a chance. He has the blood of thousands on his hands. If he will not yield, we will show no mercy. It's what he deserves.
Come on.
He pushed us together with violence, and now he'll pay the price. Ironic that our collective power will bring his end.
Let go of all fear.
This may be our final fight, but it will not speak for them all. It has been an honor to know each of you.
The gods can't help
We're right behind
now.
you, Irving, every step of the way. It's time we finish this once and for all. Atlas, Achamenos couldn't stop us. Neither could Revenant. You won't be any different.
I won't rejoice in
You're making a mistake. We don't want to kill you, but we will if you leave us with no other choice.
Pathetic.
You offer peace for your own conscience. You know I won't accept. Perhaps I simply think too much of you. Perhaps you think too little.
Strength is the only path
There will
to
be no peace here today. No. I will see my ascendance through to the end and leave this wretched world. I wish to grant you my final respects. Mere months ago, I had thought it impossible that any could interfere with my plans. You have done so with striking consistency. Among the ineptitude of the mortal races, you are surely the best of your kind. And you, Irving, I thought that you might understand the high call of the powerful to achieve something greater, to transcend this fleeting mortal existence. I will look fondly upon your memory. Alright, as the music started getting into the crazier bit. Final battle music. Here we go. It's loading. But yeah, Cam, are you gonna go because of the final boss? Well, I appreciate you hanging out and whatnot. Loading, we'll get there. Final battle time. It all comes down to this one final confrontation with the fate of the world at stake. Win and stop Empyrean from making the greatest mistake of all time, or lose and allow devastation such as the world hasn't known in millennia. This is it, our final battle. You're one of us, Robin. And no destiny can change that. What the hell? Wait. Harmony, precision, dampening, power, protection, regeneration, rage, alacrity? I don't even know what that is there. Eclipse Archmagus, 3.5 thousand HP. I assume we gotta take out the crystals, right? Oh, the violin! My favorite instrument coming in! I hear in the music there. I adore the violin. Huh. I'm gonna save in this slot now. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Wait. Mana Storm deals up to 50 damage reduced by a unit's fortitude. Huh. Oh, this final battle music, though. Maybe I turned things down too much before. Turn that up. Turn that way up. Alacrity has agility or something similar, you believe. Huh. More movement, more crit. So they can't fight back. Lucky stick. Come on, double crit.
You've made your death a
Just smack her with
necessity.
Oh, I'm sorry. I started coughing in my excitement. These are the crystals that are
You won't
on the
feel a
title of
thing.
the game. That's what this is. This is the logo of the game. And I assume the reason why it's called Dark Deity is because this guy's... Oh my goodness, that range. Is this his movement? It's because he's trying to become a Dark Deity? Or something? Fun fact, in the pre-nerf fight, those crystals respawn every 2 turns. Oh.
I guess.
Now it's like a longer respawn or something?
I guess.
So I can't even... Oh, I can go in there. It's just weird. So I should scatter my Avengers, I think. Right? So I should maybe scatter my Avengers a little bit. Yeah, more work. I shouldn't scatter my Avengers? Oh, the respawn's just gone. Okay. You can stick with that side over there.
Lead the way.
That's probably good. So if they respawn every 2 turns, and you gotta freaking be constantly taking them out, I could probably do it, but it'd be a massive pain. And take 3,000 years. That's what it would probably be. Enemy phase. Oh yeah, he's schmoovin'. Why are you going after Vesta? That's like the best unit you could be going after. Because Vesta's beefy as heck. So if you want to go after her, that's great news. But he actually pursues you then.
Rewarded.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, so they don't respawn. Good to know. More movement is more crit. Empowers Empyrean to cast Firestorm. Oh, it says them. Empowers Empyrean with 10 extra fortitude and defense. Empowers Empyrean to cast Mana Storm. So these are his attacks. So if you destroy them all, will he have no attacks? Or will he have like more attacks that aren't selected to that? Yeah, he has Astral Assault anyway. Empyrean to dampen player healing by 50%. Oh. Empowers Empyrean to cast Wicked Bolt. Empowers Empyrean to stop double attacks. Oh, and double movement range. So that's the thing that lets him go 3,000 miles. Can I chain him? There's no way you could chain the final boss. That's OP, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it takes away all his buffs and whatnot. So let's see your movement. 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can be roughly about here-ish. I'll just freaking go here. I don't care about exact calculation. More movements, more crit. We'll get over there. And whatnot.
My turn.
Sophia can make her way over here. Oops. Well, I guess we can do it with
This will be quick.
Faust. That's what we can do. Look at all that movement there. Oh, yes. We'll destroy this crystal. Yeah, I think it's all making sense now with the title of the game and things. Okay. We're not going to get over to the one quite yet. That gives him all that extra movement. I don't think.
Here.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay.
Whatever you need.
If you want to keep going after Vesta, that's great news for me. That would absolutely be great news for me. Yeah, at least he can't crit. That's true. Were you heading out, Cam? I'm so confused. I'm so confused about what... Did I just go right onto a tile that has the stuff? Oh, well. We'll make our way around town and whatnot. Maybe I just should have sent like an individual unit to like each of these. If you keep going after Vesta... Oh, you only have a 31% chance to hit on Caius. Okay, good. You'll almost one-shot him if you hit him. Not quite, but almost. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, there's the one for Firestorm. Okay, Lucky Stick, let's go.
You've made your death a necessity.
Hey there, Crystal. You've made your death a necessity, random
You
Crystal.
won't feel a thing.
I'm sure you won't feel a thing. You're a crystal and the logo of the game. I think that's awesome that the logo of the game actually is like, you know, a thing here in the final battle. I think that's great. Neat. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, it was good, but you got distracted. The family heirloom crystals, we gotta take them out. Dampens player healing. Us can get over there. Does Monroe want to nuke this crystal? Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, we're killing the logo. You've made your death a necessity, Dark Deity logo. Dark Deity, Dark Deity. I don't know. I'm just switching between the two. Absolutely made your death a necessity.
Let's do it.
So that's the way this got nerfed, huh? Because these things would regenerate. Maybe he switches up his target.
On the move.
I'm really liking the final battle music. Wait, what? Oh. I guess I never turned on enemy ranges, huh? Well, we'll make our way around, I guess.
Whatever you need.
Is what we can do. Sure. Sure, I suppose. Go ahead and do that. We're not getting out of there right now, are we? Oh, the orange tile kind of moved with them. It seems like. Wait, I can like,
This will be
wha-bam! Yeah, the orange tile moves with them there. Yeah, he couldn't go after anyone that turn. You're out of luck, pal. You're out of luck there. Okay, well, we'll be converging back on him again, I suppose. I wonder how many units we're gonna lose during this battle. Why does it show enemy ranges like these crystals are gonna attack? Oh. Are you not gonna be able to single turn this, Faust? Come on, get a 28% crit. Come on. You got this. If you had one more magic before this battle, Pelagiel's Flash. Is that a... Yes, it is. Made for extra damage. I forget these things sometimes. So,
This will be quick.
So, smack Rudis Crystal. Smack it. They're not gonna take out this one this time. So he just has Wicked Bolt and, stops double attacks for his two things so far. The stopping double attacks is gonna be a significant one. For sure. Let's see here. If we activate the thingamabob.
I won't hold back.
Yeah, well, that. A crit along with the Eye of the Storm. That thing. Then we can do it. There we go. So all he has left is a Wicked Bolt. So is now the time to start attacking him? Maybe. Huh. Oh, that damage! We can heal up anything that Alden loses. He might heal it up himself, potentially. Maybe, maybe. Just vanish like anything but Monroe attacks. Just out of there. Ow. Come on, heal yourself back up, Alden. Yes!
Let me at him!
He actually did! Come on, how much is this gonna heal him? Wow, he's freaking healed him all the way up. Too easy.
I've got a lot to learn.
Okay. Now then. I'm just curious. You could actually damage him a decent bit, and he does like almost next to nothing back. Okay, Monroe's getting in there. I'm really liking this final boss music. I quite like it. Garrick is gonna want to heal before he does things. Is going to be the case.
Stay with me.
So then. Yeah, we shouldn't have to worry too much about Wicked Bolt, I should hope. Right? And she can heal herself up enough with like a crit as well, like Alden. Otherwise, I'll use Vesta to heal. Oh, she dodged. Good. And even proc skills or things. So does this put the orange under her, attacking him? No, it doesn't. I don't know exactly what the rule there is. I'm not sure. But yeah. Love the final boss music that's more relaxed like this, like Gwyn the Lord of Cinder. That one is like more so saddening as well. Is also the case. But here it's like it's epic at times, it's menacing at times like this. I know at times it's just like calming and like an epic finale kind of thing.
Stand and fight.
Like it's so many different emotions. Is the thing. Thank goodness the final boss can't crit. Ow. How dare you? How dare. Oh, that's not enough to save Orima from Oh, whoops. Don't attack Orima, please. Okay, you're going after Kai's again. That can kill him if it lands at the 31. Come on, miss. Woo-hoo! It's scary. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit scary.
Progress.
Oh my. When it comes to like a lot of Fire Emblem final bosses that I've played against, I'm used to them like staying still and then you just like wail on them and freaking eventually take them out. But this one's scary because he freaking runs after you. Is the thing, you know? And this guy actually chases you down. Alright, Garrett can go ahead and get the thing here. Didn't even get the crit. There, it's all the crystals down. Alright, what does Sia think, huh? 9% chance to hit. I figured it'd be something like that. Stab a stab. Pyre crack, huh? It's like a really cool animation. My goodness. Okay. Now Faust. Let's start making his way down to Funky Town. We're gonna get in there.
I will.
I will. Okay,
In
let's
position.
see here. That violin, I love it. Yes. Squall strike. Come on, miss. Otherwise I'll heal with like Vesta or something. Ooh. Ow. Or get a crit to heal. Oh. Nope, not enough. Not quite enough though. Hopefully Bianca can stay in this fight unlike the last one.
Not bad, not
Hopefully.
bad.
Okay, Vesta, do things. Thanks. I really love that violin. Okay.
Let's get going.
Does Caius feel confident with doing this? 28% chance. Do I really want to risk it for the hypothetical biscuit? I probably won't. Can I surround him so he just can't get out of there? Probably can't with Orima. Because Orima is a little bit scared. Okay, well, we'll do this for now. We'll go down here. Sure.
Let's get going.
Yeah, Caius is gonna chill here for now. That's what he's gonna do. Who's he gonna go after this time? He really wants Caius, doesn't he? Okay. But he missed. I'm surprised he doesn't attack multiple people per turn. Like, I feel like this could, like, it seems like you're probably just gonna be able to win by wailing on him for long enough. I feel like a way that this could be challenging without just, you know, removing the crystals, or still with removing the crystals, you know, thing that they come back. A different way to make it more challenging is a lot of times there's a lot of games I've played that are turn-based where it's like when you have like a big kind of boss target where there's only one of it is when it's its turn, it gets to act multiple times, but it'll attack like different people essentially. So let's say that Empyrean got like 3 freaking attacks per turn, but he attacked somebody different with each one or something like that. Like, think about like Dynamax Adventures in Pokemon Sword and Shield, for example. When you fight against big wild Dynamax Pokemon, for example. In that, it always gets like a whole bunch of freaking actions to do things. It'll attack this person now. It'll attack this person now. It'll do like a smidge of damage to everyone. It'll remove your buffs and stuff like that. And you gotta play around that. I feel like that could be a cool way to make this challenging without, you know, without it being too easy. But yeah. Oh yeah, there was the dragon in chapter 16. This is true. The whole multiple attacks. Except the dragon freaking did attack, like, the same person multiple times as well. Which I think was not okay. I think, right? Unless I'm getting mixed up with something else. I think. I don't think it should be allowed to attack, like, multiple times.
Impressive, is it not?
It is impressive. Isn't it?
Stop poking me.
Alright, you can finally get over here. Finally get on over.
I'm on another level.
Hopefully we can do this without losing anyone.
My shield is
Hopefully. As we slowly wail on him.
Whatever it takes.
Alright, we're getting over here bit by bit.
turn.
No!
Huh?
Get over here. Okay. How does Sia feel, huh? 9% chance for you to hit. You do a lot of damage if you do, but you probably won't, right? Okay, nice miss. Smack, smack. Something else that I do like about some of the bosses in this game that you typically don't see in things like Fire Emblem is bosses that have a bazillion health. Like, Three Houses experimented with that a little bit with the demonic beasts and whatnot that I actually rather liked, and the multiple health bars. I thought that was cool. But this is also cool. But yeah, this should give every boss a 1% chance to crit. It'd be funny. Oh no. Just to royally screw somebody out there in particular. Ow. Come on, crit or skills to heal that up. Nope. Guess I'm healing manually. That's what we're doing. So I used 2 of my healers there. So I gotta use my 3rd. Darn it. So I probably don't feel confident putting Caius in there right now. So wait. Can I indeed just like surround him then? Oh, gosh darn. I'm not gonna be able to like right now. Oh, I should put Sia closer. That's what I should have done. Wait, Orima's full health, so you should be able to take one, right? Yeah, we can surround him! I can make it like a 3 Houses class maxing machine. What does the final boss of Dark Deity think about somebody that freaking tried to perfect a save file? Well, not perfect, but do like some really crazy stuff in a save file and fire on the 3 Houses. What does the final boss of... Whoops, Dark Deity. That was my chair there. What does the final boss of Dark Deity have to say
Sorry in
about
advance.
my Fire Emblem 3 Houses strategies, huh? Vantage Wrath the fight, Crit Monroe moment. Yes, that. Absolutely that. Stick close for buffing. Okay. Okay, yeah. Because he doesn't have pass. I feel like something else they should probably do to this boss. Give him pass. Should probably give him pass. So that I can't literally do my 3 houses jank. I'm literally using my Fire Emblem 3 houses strategies against him now. But yeah, not even Dark Deity can avoid the class maxing machine. Not even freaking the final boss of Dark Deity's dedicated hard mode deity difficulty can avoid getting caught in a Fire Emblem 3 houses class maxing machine. How hilarious is that? What is this damage? Whoa! I guess Sophia is a mage killer after all. Come on, miss. Nice. Come on. Ferris Fury. Butter got him. Wow. Okay, Orima can move out of there now. That's what he can do. Okay, let's go for it. Let's go. Heat Flash and Magmatic Flux. 282 there. Butter is the real mage killer. But the real Butter was the friends we made along the way. Ow. Okay, we're almost there. A level up. I hope I can do this without losing anyone.
Even now, the arena is with me.
Okay, I'm gonna put Irving in here. Lucky stick, maybe? 99% crit. Maybe I should just go for Meteor. I'll just go for Meteor. Nope, no crit that time. Come on, miss. Ow, it didn't miss. Come on, 67% crit. There we go. Gonna have to use a couple healers here. Bonk. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna have to use at least like 2 of my healers. Do I need to use all 3 is the question of the day. Like, oh, you wouldn't be so fine, so, wait. So I should put Monroe over here, and then Faust can heal that, and that'll be like my 3 healers. How they're used and whatnot. Alright, send in the nuke! Send in the nuke! Nuke him! Wait, I probably have to fill that last tile now with something. Most likely. Ow! Get him with the nuke. Astral Annihilation +1, I need to obliterate +1. You are victim now to the class max machine. Oh no, Alden already had it under control. So,
Don't look at me.
okay. Let me go here. Do that.
Glad you're okay. Lead the way.
And then, there we go. Clutch up Alden. He's gonna need to
Hard work is
hold down the
paying off.
fort there. I might not even attack with him just to make sure that he can, like... Wait, he could survive 2 of those if it stays at 43 damage. I mean,
Let's do it.
he can do things right. In the case of emergency, I can phase somebody out and, like, replace their spot, technically. In case of, like, extreme emergency. There we go, Sorcerer Sting, Dragon Soul. It's gonna miss. It didn't miss. Come on. Sorcerer Sting. There, he now has enough HP to deal with another thing. So he's okay. So he is, in fact, okay. 28% chance to land to 76. I might not risk it. And bring him down to 666 HP, the magic number. 21%. Oh, I can't put Sia on a spot where she'd be on her own. In case of emergency, I can phase her out without it hurting my wall. So it's fine. If she gets hit, I'm phasing her out of there. I'm hitting the eject button if this 21 hits. It didn't. So we're fine. We didn't have to hit the eject button after all. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we end turn... This is the last map. I have literally no reason not to use the spicy meatball. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. I think that's our first spicy meatball of the playthrough. Going after Sia again. You want a do-over? You missed again. You suck. Uninstall. Uninstall Empyrean. You would not believe how many hours I have in Fire Emblem 3 Houses Empyrean. Freaking about 300 and a half-ish hours. Something like that. Well over 300 hours I have in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And now you're tasting it. Now you're tasting my over 300 hours in 3 Houses. Mr. Dark Deity final boss. Now you get to experience it full swing. Nice miss.
It's
But
rude
yeah,
to stare.
it's like the first consumable you ever used in this playthrough. I've used consumables before, but like very, very seldom. There was some chapter around the middle of the game that I was really struggling that I'm fairly certain I used a consumable. Alright. Welp.
Wrong day to play hero.
Alright, now Bianca's getting the crit. Now she is. Neat. 55-55. Is it gonna land? Ow, the odds were technically in his favor by 5%. And then no crit when we actually need it to like heal our health, of course. Of course. Do I want to use the nuke? If he gets a crit, he finishes it off. Otherwise, he's going to Irving. Okay. Wrong day to play hero. The guy who's currently, yeah. He's gonna crit, yep.
Take care your blood doesn't stain my robes.
That's how we finish this playthrough. The Monroe nuke. Take care your blood doesn't stain my clothes. That's how we finish this game. Achievement unlocked, the end of Eclipse. Achievement unlocked, new visual novel, Dark Deity. Achievement unlocked, I can go the distance. Oh, what are all the achievements that I just got here? So freaking beat the game on Deity mode, beat the game on Hero mode, beat the game on Mortal mode. Okay, so that's very nice that it does let you, you know, get the lower difficulty achievements even for getting the higher level one. That's really nice. There's not enough games that do that. Sometimes some game is just like, oh, you beat it on hard mode. Now you need to go do the achievement of beating it on normal mode and easy mode. This one's like, you beat it on the hardest mode. Here's just all of the freaking thingamabobs. End of Eclipse, beat the game. And chapter 27, you were my brother. I already got that achievement. But just now, I got 4 achievements at once. Beat the game on Mortal mode, beat the game on Hero mode, beat the game on Deity mode. So beating the game on Mortal mode, the easiest difficulty, 8.5% of players have this achievement. Beat the game on Hero mode, the normal mode, 7.3% of players have this achievement. Beat the game on Deity mode, the hard mode, 1.5% of players have this achievement. My goodness. Of all the ways that we could have ended it, it was with that one Monroe crit quote. How did we get 560 gold anyway? 8 turns. Monroe dealt over 1,000 damage of the boss's 3.5k. Oh my goodness. I have a loading screen here, but on OBS it just shows the map for some reason. I don't know why. Oh my. Now it is clear. The end prepared for me. Then fate prepared for me. No. This is the end you chose. No. To know such power through no effort of my own. No, Irving. The choice was never mine to make. Maybe not, but your misery doesn't give you the right to gamble with 100,000 lives. So you say. Luckily for you, it seems your word will be the last. Terra will be better for it. You'd best hope. All right. Goodbye. Now go, unless you wish to share my fate. I'm not so petty as to thrust it upon you. The world may come to need your strength. Perhaps you really have brought Terra back from the brink. I pray you never know for certain. So, my destination is unchanged. I am ready. Stratus. Epilogue? Okay. Wait, I'll save it in this slot. Okay, is there any point of saving during the epilogue, or is it like Fire Emblem 3 Houses where it soft locks you? It's probably like Fire Emblem 3 Houses where it freaking beats you to save before the credits and it freaking soft locks you with that. Okay, well. So who dealt the most damage throughout my whole playthrough? Sia has almost 17,000. Monroe has about 16,000. So Sia has Monroe beat a little bit in the damage department just from how much she was used. Marin almost 20,000 HP of healing. Wow. So it keeps track of all these statistics from throughout the entire save there, huh? Yeah, there's Sophia's damage along with like butter stuff. Hits. 583 hits? Do multi-hit things count? These seem like a lot of hits. And a lot of distance traveled. If one tile is one thing here. Huh. Interesting. And then there's our units that we didn't use as much. So the one who dealt the most damage throughout the whole playthrough was freaking Sia, then Monroe, and then like Bianca, I guess, is what it seems like. Yeah, that's the way that's seeming. Then Bianca. And then Alden, like, very close behind. And then Irving. Caius was pretty up there as well. Yeah, Marin never did a whole lot of damage. Mostly just, like, heal and stuff and whatnot. Poor Benji. Yeah, poor Benji. But what you gonna do? Okay, it shows a loading screen here for me, but for some reason on OBS, it's complete black. It shows the freaking Sterling in front of the king loading screen. Oh, but well. The astral plane and mortal realm have once again diverged. It has been 36 hours since Empyrean's defeat. Oh? Okay. Okay, then. I see part of the screen that's loading up. There we go. I've called a meeting of the Delian noble houses. My father is backing it, as are most who oppose Varric's methods. It's scheduled to happen a month from today. Many had fled during recent months to wait out the revolution in safer areas. I suppose there's no surprise in that. New Lace is nice around this time of year, I hear. I've regained control of House Valmyron. Moreau and I will be meeting with our advisors on how to proceed.
No time to waste.
Delia can't wait a month to begin healing. Why should commoners suffer while the bureaucracy deliberates?
Naturally.
I won't. Lincoln, we'd like for you to assume Sterling's former role as commander of Delia.
With honor.
I would be honored, Sloane. And I'm honored that you would want that after all we've been through. We also know that we'll need advisors who represent more than our own interests, as we need to begin rebuilding the kingdom. I can think of no better suited to be Delia's quartermaster than you, Alexa. About time somebody had a good idea. Yours was a good idea too, Lincoln, sorry. So you accept?
I got it.
Of course I accept. Who else would keep your greedy rump in check? A great many, I expect. We also have a role for you, Ren, if you're planning on sticking around. Oh.
Guess I'll state the obvious.
There are going to be hundreds of Delian nobles swarming the palace a month from now. I have no idea where their loyalties lie. I was hoping you would be interested in helping us keep tabs on things. I see. If I'm understanding, I have a month to consider, yes? 2 weeks. We've got groundwork to lay. I will think on it. I think rebuilding the kingdom is the right move. You know that you have my support. The question remains whether we have your uncle's support.
It's simply politics.
I'm planning on leaving immediately to meet with him. When he hears the full story, he'll understand. You have my word that the war will be ended. I never wanted this war. I'll be happy to see its end. I believe we will be able to rebuild the friendship our kingdoms once shared. All I need is time. Orima, I trust you will come with us to Oasis. You deserve no less than a full pardon.
Things change.
I am unsure if I wish to live in Oasis again. You don't need to live there, but you should at least allow us to do right by you. Your legacy in Oasis deserves to be known. I will join you, at least for a time. Thank you, Princess. I hate to break up the party, but we should make preparations. War isn't good for safety on the roads, and we have a lot of ground to cover. Of course, where houses Valmyron and Valbyron hold sway, you always have a place. We will talk soon, I'm sure. Be safe. Thank you both. Corvin, are you sure you don't want to reconsider coming with us? I'm sure whatever happens with Darius will be historic.
I'm sure of it.
I'm quite sure. I don't know where I need to be right now, but it is an oasis. I will write you all, of course. I expect no less. Goodbye, friends. Away! You won't be sticking around, will you?
Not quite.
No, I'm going to Shellabunts with Liberty and Vesta. I think you should speak with Iris. I suspect she'll want to join you. I'll seek her out before we leave. Thank you. I consider it a personal favor. You're always welcome here, Sildarian. I keep saying Darian when it's Darren. Gosh darn it. We'll miss you, all of
Pace
you.
yourself.
Good luck here. You may find rebuilding Delia more difficult than stopping its destruction. I pray that isn't the case. We'll be in touch. We got the nice calming music here. Strange how it like starts fading into the thing and then it changes mind sometimes and then it continues fading. You know, Garrick, when I used to tell you that you make a great dwarf, I was mostly joking. You best stay out of trouble in Everhearth.
Right.
I will. Ben has been teaching me all about their customs, making sure I know how to be respectful. Worst case, I've got Marin along to keep me in check.
Fun.
And me to keep you from getting boring. Funny how I'm not the one that needs babysitting anymore. You never were, Alden. It was always Garrick. I'll miss you, Irving. I'll miss you all terribly, but we'll see each other soon, I'm sure. I'll make the trip if you don't. Don't worry, I'll hold him to it. Iris, too. Maybe we take different ships next time. Rose, Benji, I pray Red Hill sees a speedy recovery. Thank you all again for all you did to help us. Make sure you're recognized as the heroes you are. You don't even need to say it. You bet, Irving. They'll sing of Benji far and wide. Of all of us, I mean. I pray your voyage is less eventful than our last. We'll need your strength. There's plenty of work to do. That there is. Don't be strangers.
You're really something.
Wouldn't dream of it, buddy. A whole bunch of scenes we have closing things out, I suppose. Is it just now that I'm realizing that the figure in front of our big bad there was the wizard Akmenos and whatnot? I freaking never paid attention to it before. So, glad you decided to come with us, Iris. You too, Elias. I think there is a place for me in the Order, for all of us. It hurts to leave the others behind, but this feels right. Elias and I have never felt welcomed on Etlin. Maybe in Varroa we can change that. The Order will take you, or I'll have Alistair's head. Let's keep the taking of heads to a minimum for a while, eh? I couldn't agree more. It appears we're ready to depart, thanks to one unscrupulous smuggler with a heart of gold. Scrupulous? Well, scrumpier allows is just fine, thank you very much. Looks like Sarah wasn't lying. Her people kept the whole humpback in tip-top shape, ready to sail whenever her holiness commands. Wherever or whenever. That was whatever. Well, no use mucking about Swift Harbor then, is there? I'm eager to report to the council. I think it would be best for us all to convene with my father first. There may be information we don't want spreading. Of course, of course. Father to Alistair. Father to a good bath drawn in my own home in gosh darn it. Threlasar. You should really try to relax while we travel, Irving. You may regret not doing so and you never get another chance. I expect I'll live to regret a great deal of things at Liberty. And what a wondrous thing that is. Definitely a step up from world-spanning annihilation. What a wondrous thing indeed. Yeah, now it's showing loading screens properly. Sometimes it doesn't, on OBS at least. It's weird. Sublime. My son will arrive any day with enough aspects to level a continent, only to find us all locked in endless deliberations.
What?
We can't make a decision before we get the full story. You and I both know that's not what this is about. Some of our colleagues seem to have forgotten it's action that solves problems, not words. And we've had problems enough without the largest consolidation of aspects since the calamity plopping into our laps. We don't have nearly the numbers we need to do much of anything. We could return to hiding. No. Those days are far behind us now. Gods, let's hope I still remember the words to the rite of initiation. Do me a favor, would you? And fetch me a copy of our charter from the archives. We're going to need all the help we can get. Alright. Oh! So that's how that ends there. And that's, I guess to initiate Irving into things there, I suppose. This is a freaking awesome ending screen! This is a hella awesome ending screen. Anyway. So, that's the game. Oh, look at Butter on the left, on the far left with Sophia there. I like that. I really like this art here. I love how Foz is just right in the middle there. Just right smack dab in the middle. Not talking to anybody. He's just there. He knows. He knows. But yeah, that was a good game. That was real good. I really like that, quite frankly. I had a really good time with that game. During the credits is usually when I give my full review of a game. What do I exactly say for, like, this whole thing? I mean, I was very intrigued by the plot and whatnot. Like, I don't think that it was, like, a masterpiece kind of plot that changed my life or anything like that. But it was good and enjoyable. I wanted to see how things played out. It was kind of like, we mentioned it way earlier in this playthrough. It was kind of like if Fire Emblem Fates Revelations had a story, you know? Because in Fire Emblem Fates, every route is just kind of like, yeah, let's just go beat the big bad and whatnot. And there's not really going to be much of character development or anything that really happens or like advancing. Whereas this was a story of, you know, you're defecting from both sides, you're not following either way. Well, it's like, you would have only been following one way up, either way, but you have allies that would have been on the other side as well, both defecting to pursue like a greater, bigger foe, except there's an actual, you know, plot going on with that and whatnot, an actual intriguing story to see how it plays out and whatnot, you know? In terms of the music, I feel like, oh, now it's gotta do Kickstarter backers, I guess, huh? That is interesting. So I guess a whole bunch of people get to have their name in the credits. That's nice. When it came to the music, most of the music felt like it just kind of did the job well enough for what it was. I feel like it was kind of held back in some ways for a lot of the battle sequences, because in something like the more modern Fire Emblem games, the music would, you know, have the one theme as on like the overworld kind of map thingamabob when you're in a map and moving units around a battlefield, and then when you go into battle it becomes like the more intense version. I'm sure that's really, really hard to do. Like, I'm sure that's very difficult to get working programming wise and whatnot. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't know. It's not like the kind of thing that I've ever programmed before. But that's the way that like modern Fire Emblem games work around that. And then like some of the older Fire Emblem games, the way that they had their music is like when you went into a battle theme, it was like right in your face from the beginning. Like the music in this is like the main battle themes a lot of the time kind of blended together, and then when it went, or like the overworld kind of battle themes where you're moving units around, and then when you're actually in the battle, when it's actually like on the versus screen showing the 2 units next to one another, I felt like a lot of themes started like building up to something crazier, and then the moment that it reaches that build up point, then all of a sudden like the battle's over and you go back to the overworld theme and it suddenly cuts out. I was like, oh. So there were a few themes where it's like you go into the battle and the music is like building up and building up, you gain experience and then it's gone, and then like so much for that. So every time you battle, you just hear that like beginning of build up over and over again. Whereas like some of the older kind of Fire Emblem games, if they had like different overworld or like on the map kind of themes compared to battle themes, the battle themes would be like right in your face from the get-go. Like you go into a battle theme and like I think it's Fire Emblem 7, and all of a sudden it's like do like right in your face from the get-go, you know? So I feel like if the soundtrack for the actual battles for, you know, the screen where 2 units are against one another, like was at the main kind of point and the build up from the get-go, it would have been a bit better off and whatnot. I personally feel like that, or if they had managed to pull off like a, you know, calmer and more intense version of battle themes, like more modern Fire Emblem games. I don't know how that's exactly done. I'm not 100% certain. Might be something I'd be able to figure out with enough time bashing my head at it, or I just give up knowing I don't know. It sounds like something that'd be difficult to program. It sounds like the kind of thing that'd be either really, really easy or really, really hard. Because now that I think about it, you could just have like the 2 different versions kind of playing at once, but only one is like audible, and then whenever a battle happens, have one fade and the other fade out to 0 volume and the other fade into max volume at that time, and just have them always play synchronized. So I guess so, but it also take like a lot more soundtrack work as well, doing like 2 versions of everything. But it's something really cool if it was something that was done. But even though like most of the themes just kind of felt like, okay, they got the job done, there were definitely some standout themes. The title theme of this game, like the main menu theme, was really, really good. Like, I feel like one of my favorite places for good music in video games is the title screen. Like, you would think the title screen wouldn't be that important because it's not any part of actual gameplay, but the title screen is what sets the tone. It's what freaking, you pick up a game and the first thing you see is the title screen. Every time you load up the game is the title screen. The title screen is what it tells a player, this game is worth your time, with all it being able to express through that is like the background, the art, the UI, and music, and that's all it can do to like express to you that the game is worth your time. The title theme in this game goes through so many emotions. The title theme of this game is absolutely incredible. And the final boss theme of this game, wow, I was blown away by the final boss theme of this game, I'm gonna be frank. It hits so many different emotions. Like, there's so many different emotions that you can go for in a final boss theme in video games. This one hits so many different things as it went through different phases of the final boss theme. There was a feeling of like dread, where it's like there's a whole big bad that's like an insurmountable foe. There was feelings of like calmness, where it's like this is like an epic battle, here's like the calm part. There was like super epic in your face kind of stuff. It went through all kinds of different things, and the fact that it incorporated the violin, which is my favorite instrument, because the violin can be used in nice relaxing themes, it can be used in like absolutely epic themes as we saw there. I felt like it was like really well done there. Agree with your point on title screen music? Yeah, Dark Souls 2's title screens themes is one of your favorite. We may try it out at some point in the future here. I should also mention, I don't know if I mentioned before, I did actually wind up picking up Dark Souls 2 and 3 during the Steam Summer Sale, so I do own them now, fully anticipating to play them like one day eventually. So that's something to look forward to there, I guess. But yeah, like title screens, a lot of people really underestimate like the importance of like a title screen setting the tone for, you know, the game to come. I feel like the best example of a title screen is Xenoblade Chronicles. You look at the title screen of that game and you just get like so mesmerized by it that you freaking can't even start the game. Like, I had that problem when I played Xenoblade before I was a content creator. I couldn't bring myself to... There was a problem with Xenoblade Chronicles. The title screen is too good to ever get past the title screen, and once you start playing, you freaking can't stop, and then once you beat the game, you don't know what to do with your life anymore. But And I feel like Dark Deity was another great example of a really, really good title screen. In Xenoblade Chronicles, the title screen hits so many different emotions, and something I really liked about that title screen is it like transitioned from like day to sunset to night to sunrise again, and it went through all those things. So I feel like it would have been really intriguing if Dark Deity's title screen had some sort of like transition in the background. That's also like a big ask, and for like this game that was made by a team of 6 and with just one person on programming as well, that's also a big ask. So I'm asking for things that are a little bit maybe unrealistic for the group here, but if I had to like point out any improvements that could be done with a title screen, have it like change, transition in some way, have like the lighting change, have things get dimmer and whatnot, or get brighter as like time is going on, show time passing on the title screen. That'd be really cool, but it might also be a big ask. I don't know. But I really like the title screen theme. I really, really like the final boss theme. I thought those were freaking absolutely incredible themes. Quite frankly, I really enjoyed those. And then gameplay. Gameplay, my last big kind of aspect. Oh, I guess there's art style as well. I'll get into gameplay first. So with the gameplay, I really liked a lot of the things that this game brought to the table. Like, for example, the whole grave wounds kind of system, where I don't know if it's the solution per se to permadeath. When I was talking with Chip in that kind of demo of this game before it released, we talked a little bit about how there's like a problem with permadeath in this kind of industry, in this kind of genre of game right now, mostly with like Fire Emblem stuff, where it's like, oh, you lost a unit? Time to just like lose an hour of progress and start from the beginning. So it's like you don't actually have, unless you're doing an Iron Man run, there aren't actually negative consequences apart from your time just being wasted. And then that just like feels like crap, It feels like crap to have your time just wasted like that. So I feel like there should be more experiments within this kind of field about like what things can be done instead of permadeath. I don't know if grave wounds is the answer per se, but I do think that it's an interesting take on the problem and whatnot, and made for like something different to be playing, where it's like, okay, I can keep playing without having to worry about losing my units, but I am still playing on like the hardest difficulty, though the hardest preset difficulty. The hardest difficulty would be something that Chip thinks is impossible when I was asking him when it comes to the whole randomizer. Apparently he thinks that there are runs that aren't possible. We'll see if people manage to do them one day. I don't think I'm gonna challenge it. I was thinking about it at some point, but this playthrough took me a long time, so this might be like my one sole kind of playthrough that I hear peep the duck. Look at that. I do think that's nice that, all the Kickstarter people are in the credits here. I kind of wish I knew about this game like more ahead of time and whatnot. I only found out about this game. Red Mage, do I know you? I freaking recognize that name as like someone that Shuck knows, potentially. It might be a different Red Mage though. But yeah, I only found out about this game a little bit before the fact. Delian Spy. Oh, here in brackets there. Because I quite enjoyed it there. When it comes to the gameplay, there's the whole thing with grave wounds. In terms of the programming, Chip told me that he didn't comment any of his code, so if anybody looks at it, they're gonna have no idea what's going on there. And that, this is his first game that he's programmed and whatnot, doing it in Game Maker after, doing this project after, studying economics or whatever the heck, switching over. I believe it was economics. I might be getting myself screwed up here. Might be getting facts mixed up in my head. And from the perspective of that, it was very well done. But, you can also notice things here and there where it's like, okay, that doesn't work the way that it should, and whatnot. Like, for example, the whole glitch where it's like somebody would be registered on a tile that it doesn't show them on, or somebody would just be like completely frozen or something like that. And it's like, oh, that's odd. That's very, very strange. So I don't know what caused that. But at the same time, I get it. I've programmed a game before for something that I don't plan on sharing on the channel. You can technically find me programming it on the channel. If you just search up on my YouTube channel, Morgan is the name of the game, you can find freaking me programming it and whatnot. I don't plan on ever sharing it around the channel, but for one of my game design classes in university, we had about 3.5 months. No, it was about 3 months actually, exactly. As part of a team of 6 to make like a short 20-minute game. Essentially, this obviously isn't a 20-minute game. And we were supposed to have 3 programmers, 1 artist, 1 story writer, and 1 composer. We instead had 2 artists and like 2 programmers. I was one of those 2 programmers. So like, I know the pain of like programming and having things just like not work. Where like logically, by everything that you could possibly see in this code, it should work, and then it doesn't. I very much understand that. And when I was talking with Chip about that, I was also mentioning how, you know, because I was working with somebody else on it, my code and the other programmer's code would start fighting one another, and that's what you see cause a lot of glitches in a lot of modern big games that have a lot of people working on it, is different people's code could potentially fight each other and not work that well together. That happened all the time in the game that I was developing. And he was telling me in that way that he was blessed to be a solo dev, because it's like, you know, he's the only one touching the code of it, so, you know, he's on top of everything there, unlike my situation where it was me and this other programmer kind of doing our own things and kind of hoping that it wouldn't break everything in half, and it kept on breaking things in half. It definitely kept on breaking things in half, that whole situation. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a second opinion on the code could have definitely helped alleviate some of the weird glitches that we saw here and there, like some of that stuff. Like, I'd almost be tempted to open up the code for the game, but if it's not commented, then I would not be able to hazard a guess what could possibly be causing the freezing of people and places. If it was commented and I knew what was what, I could probably potentially hazard a guess at what was causing some of those glitches if it was made in a software like Game Maker, which is a relatively simple kind of thing. But if it's not commented, there's no way I'm freaking gonna be able to tell anything like that. Me or probably much of any other programmer, unless they take the time to, like, you know, logic out exactly what this does, add a comment. Logic out what this does, add a comment. So, I feel like if somebody did go into this with, like, the goal of fixing a whole bunch of glitches, they might have a hard time for that reason. I think that, from what I've heard from Chip, it sounds like he may well have, like, learned his lesson, and any future games I may make may be commented, is the impression that I get. But yeah, let's see here. And Chip has said that if his company became a big game dev, he would remake Dark Deity, not a remaster or a remake. That's intriguing. If this game got like a remake down the line, if freaking Sword and Axe like really started taking off. That'd be very intriguing to see if that day wound up coming along. But yeah, in terms of like other gameplay stuff, I thought that the whole like branching trees and promotions and stuff was like really cool and whatnot, where it's like anybody can go into like anything in their whole class tree and whatnot. I kind of like that, and I was like, okay, how can I have this play around that? I kind of wish that I could see some of the later class skills from the get-go, so I could like come up with builds from the get-go instead of just knowing about the final class skills after the fact. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I mean, part of it is also kind of nice for the surprise factor and whatnot. And, you know, keeping you engaged, because it's like, just level up to 30 and then I'll find like a brand new thingamabob. Congrats on being another game. Thanks, Mortis. I appreciate it. Got some chill music here. I feel like I would have been able to plan things out better that way, but at the same time, it seems like it wasn't really needed, thankfully. So maybe it's not that big a deal. There. There were definitely, like, some times that I found myself frustrated with the game, like, certain hit rates. Like, I used to say that, I still do say that freaking Fire Emblem Fates RNG is whack as heck. Because it is whack as heck. Fire Emblem Fates RNG is the freaking wackest thing. But I found an RNG system that's even more whack, Dark Deity. But yeah. Did I say Mortis? I meant Hawks in my head. Yeah, I know that was Hawks, not you. Did I say Mortis, though? I must have seen, like, Mortis's name just above and said that. But I did see that was Hawks, and my mind, like, registered that as Hawks, I promise. Did I really say that? I'm freaking confused. Anyway, with Fates, I always say that game has, like, a really weird RNG for its hit rates and crits and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm canceled now. And it has like some whole weird crazy algorithm thing that calculates its hit rates in some weird system where it's like, if it's over 50%, it's going to be like extra likely to hit, and if it's under 50%, it's going to be like extra likely to miss, something like that. It's something weird like that. But in Dark Deity, the percentages for like hit rates here felt like that was exactly what they were. So in a way, the game was truthful. But the amount of times that I would miss like a 78, like that one escape map after the speech in the square and whatnot, where you just have to like escape to the outsides of the map. I got so royally screwed in maps like that after missing like several things that were like 78 or like 68 or 70 and stuff like that over and over again, and it was like, or like, there were like certain matchups there, like we saw it in the second last chapter a lot, especially, where it's like, oh, you want to try attacking this person? Good luck contending with like anywhere from a 10 to 30% chance to hit on some of your better units and whatnot. And it was like, oh my good gracious, how the hell do I deal with this? On the upside, you can exploit it yourself, like I did with Sia, for example, with the whole Sia Sarah combination build that I did there, that I was proud of pulling off and whatnot. Wait, was there a Donald Trump Jr. that was on there? My goodness. What a world. I did not see that. I'm not paying attention to the names. My goodness. But yeah, so stuff like that was frustrating for sure. Situations where, you know, it was just like, okay, I literally can't hit this guy. What the hell do I do? Or situations where it's like, I'm probably gonna hit, but I missed like a 78 and now my entire strategy is just like gone and I have to lose somebody, and it's like, oh, times like that were definitely frustrating. As well, I said it, something else that I would change gameplay wise. I said it at the very beginning of this playthrough, and I'll say it again. I wish there was a way to like rebind everything. Like, this game relies on the whole Fat Kelly. This game relies on point and click kind of stuff. Like, you're constantly using your mouse cursor and like moving it around all over the place, and that's how you're controlling everything. But I've played Fire Emblem Three Houses on this channel on a controller with a D-pad, and now we've covered Fire Emblem Awakening Lunatic Plus Classic and Fire Emblem Fate's Birthright Lunatic Classic on this channel, and we'll continue doing 3DS Fire Emblem shenanigans. And because of that, I've gotten very used to using my freaking keyboard for these Fire Emblem games and using the equivalent of the 3DS D-pad on my keyboard and like quickly navigating menus and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I would use TFGH as my D-pad. WASD is the circle pad, but I would rarely ever use it for Fire Emblem. So TFGH on my keyboard was the D-pad. And then the arrow keys were like A, B, X, and Y. So I'd have my hands on like these two different places of the keyboard. And I freaking navigate those menus fast. Anybody that's seen my freaking Fire Emblem Fates or Fire Emblem Awakening shenanigans knows that I freaking navigate those menus fast. Like, it becomes like regular muscle memory kind of stuff. Goose mood. I'm gonna show that to Guzma later. So part of me, when I started playing this game when it first came out, I kind of wish that I could rebind like the movement to not be a mouse cursor thing and rebind it to be, you know, something like WASD or TFGH, something like that, to move it around, and then rebind like the arrow keys to things like the equivalent of A, B, X, Y to like open different things if this was on a controller. And I think it was mentioned that this is supposed to be coming to consoles later, so it'd be having like controls for consoles anyway. So I do really wish that there were ways to like rebind your controls to whatever the heck, like, because right now the current system does rely on, you know, you point and you click on things, and that's how you navigate everything, is pointing and clicking on things, and sometimes using left and right arrow keys to like change weapons and stuff like that. So if I could freaking rebind this to be like my same controls that I play like Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates with, my goodness, I would navigate everything super fast. Hey look, it's me, it's Jake! A different Jake. A few different Jakes. Oh my goodness, it's a whole bunch of freaking Jakes, isn't it? My goodness. Anyway, if I was able to rebind like movement and menu navigation and all that stuff to like buttons on my keyboard instead of the mouse, whew, I would have been zooming. Let me tell you, I would have been zooming. So, I do wish that that was an option, gameplay-wise, and whatnot. But yeah, there's a gun, Jesus, my oh my. Hello, Reggie Bub, congrats on beating the game. Hi, hello, how are you doing today? Yeah, we beat the game. Managed to do it on the harder difficulty of Deity difficulty. I was kind of worried that this might be like a freaking Fire Emblem Fates kind of situation where it's like right at the end the harder difficulty like really ramps up. But no, it actually got like pretty alright towards the end. It was not too bad. I mean, as was mentioned earlier this stream, apparently the final boss was nerfed. Because yeah, the crystals coming back every 2 turns does sound a bit OP. But I kind of wish that the final boss had done like multiple actions per turn. So yeah, but I mean, for the most part, I did generally enjoy the gameplay. Oh yeah, I guess something else that I could note, the whole like weapon tokens and upgrading weapons, everybody having 4 weapons at once is intriguing, but it's like at the beginning of the game, you start with like all these 4 options and you can develop like things a little bit, I guess, and whatnot. but you can pretty much switch between any of those options and be okay. But by the end, it's like you basically have to decide on one main weapon, maybe one secondary to commit to, and just let the other ones be crap. So, you know, there were some situations where it's like I need a specific weapon in that situation, but that's not the one that I developed because I couldn't before that point, because I'd rather like the more damage thing. So times like that felt a little bit iffy. Like, I'm not quite sure what exactly I do to change the weapon system, but there were definitely some times where it's like, okay, it felt like I had to like commit to one or two specific weapons and let the other ones be crap, and sometimes that shot me in the foot by doing that. That was definitely a little bit concerning when stuff like that happened. But yeah, for the most part, I had fun with the gameplay. The freaking, I guess I could talk about art style. The art style was great. Like the models in the cutscenes and whatnot, the models are freaking great. They're beautifully done. The artist behind this has got to be freaking very, very talented. Like, my goodness, this all was very, very good. I love the backgrounds that are like this and whatnot. These are all very well done as well. It's a very, very charming game. I quite liked it. I mean, when it comes to like backgrounds and such, when it comes to levels, there were definitely some things that were a little bit jarring. Like, Mortis was a bit right about like the water being jarring, or some of those final levels there were a little bit bright and jarring in weird ways, but not unbearable or anything like that. But for the most part, it was a very charming world, very, very charming backgrounds. I loved how, like, the screens where before a chapter you had the options to, like, go into the shop and, like, upgrade and all that stuff. Those screens there, the pre-battle screens, all had, like, a background that looked like it was a kind of painting art style where, you know, it wasn't meant to look realistic. It was meant to look like it was painted together, and I thought that was really, really cool, and I really liked the art style. This is a game that exudes charm. And I really, really enjoyed that about that. But yeah, the difference between Dark Deity and Fates is that the former gets patched. My goodness. Oh, man. But yeah, token system works if you could gold grind, but then they have to remove stat boosting items from the shop unless they have a special token farming grinding map. Yeah, before this game came out, I don't know if it was in my, I don't know if I included it in the video of, like, Chip and I discussing the game. I don't remember if it was there, but one of the things that I did ask him is if there was unlimited grinding, like a more modern Fire Emblem kind of thing where you can go and do like other maps whenever you want, or if it's like an older Fire Emblem kind of thing where it's just like straight to the end, one chapter to another. And he told me that it was just straight to the end, one chapter after another, that there's no grinding and stuff like that. It makes me kind of wonder what this game would look like if there was that kind of unlimited grind, like a boot camp kind of map, or the freaking Ghostly Gold, or whatever the heck, or what was the one Awakening called? I don't even know. It makes me wonder what it would be like for that. I don't think it would make it necessarily a better or worse experience, maybe for some players like me and whatnot, but this game definitely didn't feel hurt by like the absence of something like that. I do think with like such a large cast, it might have been nice to have a way to have like more of the cast be viable as the game went on and whatnot. So you can continue using this like insanely vast cast, but it felt instead like you kind of had to stick to like 14 that you choose as like your main 14 or your favorites or whatnot, and not really able to use like the rest much of ever again, unless you do want to like keep on giving them EXP in the limited story maps. If there was a way to grind forever, then you would be able to use them more, but you know, I felt like pacing-wise, it worked out fine and whatnot. Like, I never really felt the need to grind apart from in the maps where I did it for fun a lot of the time to use my EXP janking strats and whatnot. But for the most part, I don't know. I just felt like maybe there could be a way to use this vast of a cast a little bit better and whatnot, you know? But yeah, that's how I feel about that. But yeah, let's just see here. So it was in the interview. Okay, so that was one thing that was included. I know that there was several things that was like cut from that. I didn't remember if that was one of them. But yeah, the XP balance was definitely very well designed and whatnot. There were like a couple brief times I felt underleveled. Like it was around the mid game. It was around the mid game that I feel like I felt underleveled, and I started doing more of the EXP kind of machines and whatnot. But like towards the end, I just kind of felt like, okay, I can deal with this easy peasy, apart from when Bianca got like one shot by that one guy with the crit. Apart from that, I never really felt like I really needed to do like extra grinding. Like I did it anyway because I was showing off my freaking 3 houses strats and whatnot. But I don't think I needed to do that to beat this even on the hardest difficulty. Maybe I need to do it if I ever hope to beat like the freaking, you know, max difficulty possible on you know, the whole randomizer that you can adjust however you want, which if you set it to the hardest possible difficulty, Chip was saying that apparently he thinks that it is straight up impossible, that there are certain difficulties that are going to be straight up impossible. But you know, I feel like in like the main difficulties, since I played on the hardest difficulty and felt like there didn't necessarily need to be any grinding, I feel like this game overall just kind of feels like, yeah, you probably don't really need to like really grind. You probably never had to do any of the freaking class maxing machines, as I called them in 3 houses that I pulled off in this game. Probably didn't have to do the 3 houses strats. This game became a lot easier for me pulling off my 3 houses strats, but it didn't feel necessary. So yeah, I can definitely agree with that and feel like the way that EXP was handled in this game was done really well and whatnot. But yeah, and sorry, I read that out in my head earlier, I just didn't read it out loud. About Chip talked about it, he said that he would make the game have less units if he changed it. And yeah, that was the Deity mode XP decrease. Yeah, so I guess there was that bit around the mid-game, but towards the end it didn't feel like that much of an issue. But yeah, I did kind of like that there was a vast cast of characters and whatnot, but it just also kind of sucks that you can't really grow connected to that many, because it kind of feels like you had to settle on 14 and kind of stick with those and not really use the others anymore, was the thing. So like, you know, we've talked in my game design classes about like meaningful decisions, and in that vein we've also talked about meaningless decisions, and something that I talk about the least on this channel when it comes to decisions is we've also talked a little bit about freaking excruciating decisions, or like gruesome, or whatever the heck, freaking painful decisions, that kind of thing, where you really don't want to make a decision. There were some cases of that in this game where it's like, I can only bring in 14 units. Who do I want to be my final party? This person or this person? And I love them both, and it's like, that can be an excruciating decision there. Because it's like, I gotta choose one person to like not bring around with me anymore. I gotta settle on one. Oh no. So, like, there's games like Fire Emblem Three Houses that suffer from a lot of meaningless decisions. It didn't really feel like there were that many meaningless decisions in this game, but this game had some excruciating decisions, because it's like, who do I bring? I gotta leave somebody behind. But I love all the units and the characters and whatnot. I want to still be able to use them throughout the adventure in some way, and I was kind of able to do that in something like Fates, because I'm able to, you know, grind and whatnot on the side and make sure that everyone's still viable and coming with slightly different parties each time and yada yada. But because this game had no grinding, and because, you know, you could only bring in like the 14 units and you had to kind of settle on a final party, it meant you had to leave some people behind, and that can hurt. That hurt a little bit, because the characters are really good. I quite enjoyed them. So yeah, but yeah, say it now from you watching just the streams live, this is better than Three Houses in some ways, I'd say. I'd say that this game handles like decision making better than that. The excruciating decision over anything Three Houses does. Three Houses does a lot of things right. It also does a lot of things wrong as well. Like, to compare certain parts of this to Three Houses, when it comes to like decision making, in Fire Emblem Three Houses, when it comes to decision making, when you're putting your units into classes, it literally tells you these are your character's assets, these are your character's flaws. So it's like, you want a good unit, put them into something that builds off of their assets and like doesn't care about their flaws. You want a shit unit, freaking put them into anything else. Or want a mediocre unit, put them into anything else. But if you want the best thing for your units, put them into the thing that builds off their assets or whatnot. So that decision doesn't have any meaning, because it's like, if a game gives you 2 options, the option between like a really good weapon and a really crap weapon, of course you're gonna take the really good weapon. That's freaking Three Houses when it comes to like choosing classes for people a lot of the time, unfortunately. Whereas choosing classes for characters in this game felt a lot more open-ended, where it's like, okay, they're starting out in this class, these are their different options, here's their personal skill, in what ways can I do like a build around them, around their personal skill and around their growth rates, without it being like, oh, you want to put them into this, they're gonna suck it. Well, there were definitely some people that sucked in certain classes after I put them in it, but it's not like freaking a game is just like, okay, you're gonna be royally screwed for thinking that you can develop this. It might take a little bit of extra work, but you can freaking try whatever the heck you want. I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes, but there aren't things like assets and flaws that tell you to base your decisions certain ways, essentially, is all I'm saying there and whatnot. You can kind of experiment and whatnot. And you could experiment in 3 houses, but 3 houses, you already know the answer. You can experiment as much as you want, but the answer is like 90% of the time going to be put them in what their assets are, essentially, anyway. So it's like, you know, you really don't get rewarded for like really thinking about how to do these spicy different things. Only one good Benji build according to the Dark Deity Discord. Yeah, there's some situations like that where some characters I feel like could have been you know, handled a little bit better gameplay wise into how they can work. Like the moment I started using Benji and I put him into some class, I was like, oh my goodness, I literally can't use this guy. So maybe I didn't use the one good Benji build there or something like that. Maybe I didn't. There's really not a lot of comparisons that I can make with a game like this to 3 Houses, because this is like, I mean, both are linear right to the end and whatnot. I mean, I guess I can kind of compare it in that way, where it's like 3 Houses, at least you can grind a little bit and do side activities that are fun, but it just makes you do so many of them all the time that you get so tired of them, and you get like so tired of doing the monastery over and over and over again, and yada yada, and the same activities over and over and over again, and you feel obligated to do them, because if you don't, then you know, you've now lost that time slot forever. You can never go back and get that time slot again. You've now missed that opportunity to get stronger and all that fun stuff. So at least in something like this, kind of similar to the older Fire Emblem games, it does go from like one chapter to another and whatnot. But I mean, the option isn't even there in the first place to be doing like other activities apart from like figuring things out in your inventory and shop and you know, seeing support conversations and whatnot. But yeah, description of a calendar like it better because of that. 3 Houses logic would either perfect your best skills or improve your bad ones. Yeah, it's not the best. There's a lot of things that 3 Houses do right that I really, really enjoyed. Like any class being able to wield any weapon, for example, except for magic. The moment you freaking reclassed into a non-mage unit, you suddenly forget how to fling spells. I don't like that. But everything else for like any class can wield any weapon. Also, apart from like mounted units wielding gauntlets, but that's fine because you can't punch from a freaking mounted thing anyway. Things like anybody being able to wield any weapon apart from magic was a cool thing and on the right track. And I like the idea of being able to build your units in any way that you want, even if it was you know, a little bit poorly executed at the end of the day. Things like battalions and gambits, I feel like could have been handled a little bit better, but we're on the right track to like some really cool stuff, and the whole like freaking demonic beasts and whatnot. There was a lot of things that 3 Houses did like really right, and the soundtrack of the game is incredible. There's a lot of things I really love about 3 Houses, and a lot of things I really don't like. So I don't know if, you know, I could necessarily say that a game like this is, you know, necessarily better or worse or anything like that, because they're so vastly different at the same time. Like, they still have the same kind of general move your units around a battlefield tactically kind of gameplay, and I had to like really think in some situations in 3 Houses, probably more so than this game. This game, like 3 Houses Madden and Classic, probably pushed me more than this, but you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I was okay having a chill time with things like this instead of the freaking BS that Madden and Classic threw at me sometimes. But sometimes there were some maps in Madden and Classic 3 Houses that also pushed me in a way that wasn't BS and I really, really enjoyed and whatnot. So I don't know if I can necessarily say which game I would prefer. I think they both do like a lot of things right and maybe a lot of things wrong. But I don't know. This is a really good game at the end of the day. I quite enjoyed it. I'm glad that I got into it. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to, you know, see a bit of it early, be introduced to it and whatnot, and hop into it here, essentially. Also, I'm now realizing, like, I was talking earlier about how title screens can be cooler if it, like, adapts, and this one does, like, have some moving parts and stuff like that, help it feel alive, in hindsight. So, oh, now what I'm thinking, like, it's already pretty nice where it's like you see the water reflections on the tiles and stuff like that at the bottom. It's really, really cool lighting effects. But now it makes me think, since that's kind of like sunlight coming in, what if, you know, it transitioned kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles to like evening, to like sunset, and then like night, and you see like moonlight coming in? How cool would that be? That sounds like incredibly complicated to pull off how that would be programmed, but that also sounds hella cool. But the title screen is already pretty good as is. And I was mentioning before, the title screen of this game hits a lot of emotions and is a really, really good theme. Yeah, got DLC coming for this game as well. Still in development though. Okay, so it has been confirmed that there is going to be DLC then. Interesting. So is the where is the whole, like, I'm just curious. Campaign customization, this is where it is. And this is what he was showing me. Aptitudes, unit menu, class normal, random. Yeah, he was telling me in this session that, you know, somebody could spend like a year or two working on it, or he could just do it himself in 2 months, and he did it in 2 months. Yeah, let's see here. Player classes will have random aptitudes. Player classes will have 0 aptitudes. So you can literally do a 0 growths run. Like, would a 0 growths run in this game be possible? I mean, people have beaten freaking Fire Emblem Fates Lunatic Classic on like negative growths run. Was the thing. Like, I think that was something that I was talking to Chip about that I cut out of the, I think that was something that I talked to him about that I cut out of the interview, where I told him that there are some people that have even beaten, like, Fates Lunatic Classic on negative growths run, and his expression was just like, what? that kind of thing. Try freaking 0 growth? There's no way. But yeah, this game feels like it cares. That's what makes the game a success. Yeah, like there's a lot of games where it feels like a whole mishmash of a lot of things. Like, I mean, with something like Three Houses, if we're comparing it to that, Three Houses feels like it cares, but it feels like one of those games that tried to do like a bazillion different things, and in the process kind of missed its mark and lost its focus from being able to do like the core things it wanted to do in the first place. I made the same argument about Watch Dogs Legion in like a recent review of that game when I beat the DLC of that, where I enjoyed the DLC of Watch Dogs Legion a lot more than the main game, because the DLC was focused around this like smaller kind of thing, this linear story and like main characters and whatnot, whereas the main game of Watch Dogs Legion tried to do like a bazillion different things all over the place that, you know, kind of made it feel like everything was disconnected and nothing really connected to one another. So cases like Fire Emblem Three Houses and Watch Dogs Legion both feel like games that did have a lot of like passion put into them and tried to do a lot of things, but tried to do like so many things that they might have lost their focus that could have otherwise been there on like the core part of it. Whereas with a game like this, with Dark Deity, it's like, this game has problems, like I was mentioning, like, the glitches, or, like, things with, like, the whole not being able to, like, incorporate every character and yada yada, all these, like, littler issues and whatnot. But it feels like that doesn't really take away from the core focus of what made this game really great. Like, when Chip was telling me about this game, he was telling me that he just wound up Googling, like, indie games similar to Fire Emblem and didn't see anything that he wanted to play, and he figured, you know, that he'd just make it himself. And in that way, I feel like throughout playing this game, I could feel that passion, you know? Like, this absolutely felt like a very passionate kind of project, which, again, isn't perfect. It was made by, you know, this ragtag group that hadn't made a game before. But despite doing that, you can tell that they, like, really, really tried there and freaking made something that they could be proud of. And it makes me feel really humbled to be able to experience that kind of thing, you know? So, I don't know. That's how I feel, I guess. Random items, random weapons. Enemy weapons will be fully random within weapon class. Recruitment order, random. Reverse. Character join order will be reversed. Random enemy classes, full. Random spell animations. Units will use the appropriate spell animations. Units will use a random spell animation when casting spells. I love that. But yeah, Foster's your favorite character in this game. I think that he's gotta be like one of my favorites as well. Like, I loved how he was a filthy memer at times that would also make like really freaky out there kind of statements about society, but also be like really real and down to earth about like the things that matter, you know? Linear levels, character stats will increase normally with percentage chance. Character stats will increase at a set rate rather than randomly. Interesting. So you could literally do like as freaking as 20. Oh, it doesn't let you do 0. Okay. Because I think when he was showing me, I'm fairly certain when Chip was showing me before this game released that you could drag these all the way to 0. But he was also telling me that he figured that like an absolute 0 everything run was probably impossible. And it seems like to account for that, he's like, okay, the hardest you can make it is 25 of everything. It seems like. So, it seems like he decided like, yeah, if that's probably impossible, let's make something that's near impossible. Maybe somebody will figure out how to do it. Maybe. So, and then this is the whole percent change. You can still do literally 0 growth through if you want. You can still do a 0 growth run, is the thing. Technically. And then like double your enemy stats and whatnot. But yeah, so if this is the start of something big and not just them getting lucky, yeah, if this spawns into like, you know, either a series, they make more games, whether it's a follow-up to this or like a whole new original game, it would be neat to see what happens from here and whatnot. I know it was mentioned on, like, I was lurking in one of Chip's streams a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about, someone asked him how well the game did, like how well Dark Deity sold and whatnot, and he was saying that he couldn't go into the specifics, but what he could say is that it did do well enough that they are going to like continue making more games, which is, you know, a good sign that that's like currently the plan, is essentially to like work on like another game in the future, whether that be a sequel to this or that be a new original game. If I had to guess, it'd probably be something new original. Maybe it'd be in the same style, maybe it'd be something different. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to guess and whatnot. But yeah, it does very much seem like this game wound up doing well for itself, and you know, there's now discussions in the works for like how they're going to go next. Plan to make more games in the Dark Deity universe, maybe in different genres. So maybe it'd be like an Octopath Traveler kind of situation, where it's like part of the Project series, where like Square Enix had Octopath Traveler, that was the, you know, you have a party of 4 in a typical kind of RPG turn-based combat there. And now, after Project Octopath Traveler, they're now working on releasing next year Project Triangle Strategy, which I'm really, really looking forward to next year, because Project Triangle Strategy is another Fire Emblem-like looking game where you move units around a battlefield tactically and whatnot. So when it comes to games similar to Fire Emblem that I've gotten excited about playing, there's Dark Deity, and then next year is going to be Project Triangle Strategy. I look forward to playing that game. But that was an interesting kind of thing where I don't think it's in the same universe, Project Octopath Traveler and Project Triangle Strategy. I'm fairly certain it's completely different universes. But, you know, it's like the same art style and whatnot. Like, it's the same HD 2D. They're calling it the HD 2D series there. So maybe if they do make more games in the Dark Deity universe, but like different types of games, maybe it'd be a situation like Project Octopath Traveler to Project Triangle Strategy, where they are completely different games, but like same kind of team and art style and all that fun stuff. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that if they made more games in, you know, different genres and whatnot. I think that'd be hella cool. And I think that'd be neato. And if they're ever looking for, as long as code is commented, if they're ever looking for another like second opinion on code, if there's some glitches or something, I could certainly have a look. If you ever freaking watch this down the line, Chip, to see what I'm saying about your game, freaking, I'll be around. I like problem solving anyway, and being involved with things. So freaking, there's that, I guess, if that ever happens. But yeah, I guess like the sum of everything that I'm saying here is like this project felt very passionate. Like, again, it's not perfect. It was made by the small team making their first game, and with just like one person actually touching the code and whatnot. And there are definitely times in the game where you could tell that was the case and whatnot. Some little hiccups here and there. But like, despite that, it never lost like its main focus along the way, and it still felt like passionate the whole way through, you know? I guess is the whole sum of what I'm trying to say. Like, that was a real treat of a game to experience, quite frankly. I really quite enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that. So, yeah, if I keep talking here, I'm just gonna like ramble forever. So this is probably like a good place to wrap things up. I've probably repeated myself enough times already, I suppose. So yeah, that was a real treat. I quite enjoyed that. If there is indeed like DLC in the works that they're going to be releasing down the line, then I definitely will hop into it and cover it on the channel. Like, that's usually what we do with like new releases on this channel, is if they have DLC release, I'll hop into the DLC and cover that too. So if this does get more content somewhere down the line, I'll cover it. I'll cover it on this channel if it does. I definitely will. But yeah, the real Dark Deity was the fun we had along the way. Yes, for sure. It wasn't always fun all the time. Like, there were times I basically rage quitted when the freaking worst possible thing happened, but we made it. I'm really glad we made it. It was a good time. That was absolutely worth the journey. And this title theme is so dang good. So dang good there. But yeah, so thanks all who stopped by and hung out for both this stream and this series in general. This was this was certainly a series, huh? I was not expecting this game to take me literally over a month after release to beat. How many hours do I have in this game now? If I hit exit and it updates my Steam hours, how many do I have in this game? I have 45.5 hours in this game. Holy crap. My goodness, I wasn't expecting it to take me 45 hours and however many parts it's cut into of daily uploads after the fact. But it was a good series. But yeah, so thanks all who stopped by and hung out. We'll hop into more Dark Deity if more stuff comes out down the line. I don't know if I do any randomizer runs because I was debating about it when the game came out. But there's a bazillion other games for me to play, so I don't think we're going to do any randomizer runs on the stream. But we'll do more content if it comes out. So until potentially then, take care all. Have a good night and see ya.